Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you don't know what it is that I do here, you've never met with me before, you've never seen my live. I am a love coach specifically for women who are staying and wanting to reconcile after infidelity. You have been cheated on, and it was devastating, and you've never been in this much pain in your life, but knowing that has taught you you've never felt this much love in your life either. And you're not quite willing to give up on that. Just because the pain is present doesn't mean that the love isn't real. And this is your person. In spite of the immense amount of pain, the devastation, the shattering that you went through, there's still a part of you that says, we can work this out. We can be together. I can get past this. We can get to the next chapter if I can just figure out how. And I am here to teach you everything you need to know about how, because I have been through it myself. I am 18 years post the last D-Day. The last one was about 18 years ago at this point, and I learned so much from loving my husband deeply enough to forgive him that I've got a ton of knowledge to share with you now, and I can't wait. Okay? So if you've got questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, please put them in the comments. I will answer every question that comes. And just hang with me for a little while, learn a little bit about the basics of being able to heal after this type of trauma, and stick around for a little bit deeper lesson at the halfway point. Okay. All right. So the very first thing you need to know about this situation is this is a trauma. You have been through a trauma. That is what it is. There is nothing less than that. This is, I know people feel like trauma needs to be some kind of life or death situation, but the thing is, your brain took it as a life or death situation. So it will feel like that to you, and you have the same reactions that you have if it is actually a life or death situation. We've just got to learn that actually, no, we're safe. Our lives are not on the line. Just because we were hurt this way does not mean that our lives are in danger. And then getting ourselves regulated, getting ourselves able to be compassionate and understanding and open again, and connecting with our partner again is going to get us past this chapter. I know right now it feels like you are lost in the woods, but there is a path out of the woods. Now, if you don't have it yet, please put path in the comments, PATH in the comments, and you will get the link sent to you for my guide, How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity. Now, the things that I'm going to tell you in this live, a lot of them are going to be in that guide, and there's going to be some things that I wasn't able to cover in the guide as well. These are the 6 steps that I took myself personally, that I experimented with, that I used over and over and over again, that I taught over and over and over again, that got success, that got you to a place where you were not feeling like this trauma was ending everything. It is a chapter, and we can find our way out of these deep, dark woods and find ourselves back at home in our castles just as soon as we get control over this trauma reaction that is happening inside our bodies. And you must remember, this is a bodily reaction. If you can do something about what your body is doing about this trauma, you are going to start to feel better. So I'm going to teach you things that you can do all on your own, no help whatsoever. You don't even need him to participate, that are going to start to heal the damage that has been done from the trauma inside your body. Okay? All right, the first thing you need to know, the first thing that I'm always going to tell you to do anytime you talk to me, whether you are talking to me here, whether you're one of my clients, I'm always going to tell you this first. Do your deep breathing. That is the key number one thing that you are going to start to do that is going to help you to regulate these feelings, that is going to help you to start to calm down, get a hold of these fearful thoughts that keep coming to the surface, these repetitive negative thoughts that just keep on making you obsess about what has happened. When you do your deep breathing, you are doing the opposite breathing of the fight or flight response. When you have that fight or flight response, your breath comes much more short, much more shallow. It is sipping in air and never fully blowing out, exhaling all that excess carbon dioxide that is built up in your lungs. Again, this is a physical thing that is happening to you. So if your breathing changes and the chemical composition inside your lungs is different, your body's going to think that you're in terrible danger, that something awful is happening to you right now, even though it's just a memory of something that bad that happened to you. So we've got to get control of the breathing, get that chemical composition inside our bodies back to the normal, not even just back to normal, back to soothed, calmed, regulated, in control, feeling safe. That's what we need to get it to. And if we can do that on a consistent basis, we are going to tell our bodies that we are safe, and then that reaction won't keep coming and throwing itself at your head. Okay? So we're going to do our deep breathing. What we do is 4-7-8 deep breathing. Now you can do whatever breathing technique you please as long as you are doing it. And you are doing it at least 5 times in a row, 5 times per day. So make sure you set an alarm in your phone, 5 separate alarms that are going to remind you to take that 1 minute to do your deep breathing. The consistency counts. The consistency lets your body know that over and over and over again, you felt safe. You were okay. And then it starts to let go of that reaction, okay? So we do 4-7-8 breathing. What you're going to do is blow out, try and deflate your lungs entirely, get all of the gases out of there. Then you're going to inhale for a count of 4 through your nose if possible. Hold that breath for a count of 7 so that your body can use the oxygen you just breathed in. And then you're going to blow out like you're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. Now, when you do this, you are teaching your body that you are safe, that you are able to fully exchange your oxygen and your carbon dioxide. Your body is safe in this moment. Then you can start to think about other things. Your brain will be clearer for you to be able to for you to be able to think about what you want to do from here on out for your own healing. I think I need an allergy pill. All right. So we're going to do the deep breathing. We're going to do this 3 times in a row, just for the sake of time on the live, but 5 times a day for you at home, okay? Whew, get myself together over here. All right. All right, we're going to do our 4-7-8 breathing. Come on, join me for a little deep breathing session, okay? First things first, you're going to blow out. Make the noise. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How do you feel when you do your deep breathing? Again, This is a trauma. It is affecting your body. So we've got to start changing how our body feels. There should be physical changes in your body when you do your deep breathing. You can start to feel a little clearer, a little sharper. You can start to feel a little sleepy. You may yawn. You may feel like you've got energy all of a sudden. There are all sorts of ways that it affects you because you are fully inhaling and getting oxygen into your tissues, and you are exhaling and releasing excess carbon dioxide. Very basic thing. This is one of those things that is always going to work when you are having some kind of traumatic response because it teaches your body that you are safe in the moment. You are consistently reminding your body that I know that it feels scary, it feels dangerous, but I'm actually okay. And the more you convince your brain of that, the more you send that message, the more likely your brain is to believe you and then start to be able to function like it's supposed to, not fearfully all the time, but practically, thoughtfully. Okay? All right. Let me know in the comments how it is when you're doing your deep breathing. Let me look in the over here. I am live right now in the Love After Cheating group. If you are not part of my Love After Cheating group, come on in here. Join my Love After Cheating group. It is all about just women who are staying and reconciling, healing. There are plenty of women in here who will help you. There are plenty of women who have experienced what you have experienced, and they have learned from me, and they have gotten past those dark, dark woods. They've come back into the sun. I want you to talk to them. I want you to be amongst other people who are doing the same thing you are, that are not trying to tell you that you're wrong for trying to stay and work it out. You don't need that type of pressure. If you are choosing it, you are making the right decision, and you shouldn't be shamed for it, and nobody should give you a hard time about it. So come join Love After Cheating if you want an environment like that. It is excellent for your growth as you are healing. I'm also live on my Love Coach Dasha YouTube page and my Love Coach Dasha Facebook page as well. So you can catch me lots of places live on Thursdays. All right. So I can see everybody in the groups. If you've got anything, questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything you want to say, anything you want answered, put it in the comments. I will check back periodically and I will answer every question that comes. All right. Second thing that we're always going to talk about every time we get together, because it is a way to manage this trauma, is to do your journaling. Are you doing your journaling? Have you sat down with your journal in the last week? In the last month? Do you have a journal? Do you have a pen? I need you to get on this. I need you to take this seriously and go buy yourself a journal, one that you will write in, one that you are happy to open. Every time you open it up, you're like, oh, this is the sacred tomes. Let me break this bad boy open and fill it with the wisdom that I have been learning as I have been dealing with this trauma. You need a journal. When you are able to journal on a consistent basis, you are taking all of those chaotic thoughts that are in your brain and you're putting them down on paper. A lot of the time, you will find patterns in what you write. If you're doing this on a consistent basis, like I want you to start with at least 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes before you go to bed. If you're doing that on a consistent basis, you will find that there are certain thoughts that you have in the morning. There are certain thoughts that you have in the evening before you go to sleep. There are certain things that will repeat, and you will be able to find them because you're writing them down. When you are going through a trauma, your memory is affected. You think that you are remembering everything in crystal clarity. It feels HD, doesn't it? When you are in pain, everything is so sharp and clear, and you know you'll never forget it. And that is not the way trauma works. If you are experiencing it in the moment, yes, it's sharp, but you don't form long-term memories as well when you are going through a trauma. So you're not going to remember things as well as you think you will. So if you are writing them down and then you go back through once a week, just flip through, see if there are ideas, thoughts, things that you kept writing, things that repeated over and over again, you will be able to find your triggers. You will know ahead of time when a trigger is going to attack you so that you can make a plan to attack it back. You do not have to be completely helpless. The journal is the playbook to you. So if you are doing this on a consistent basis, it is going to help you to feel more in control of what is happening to you after this infidelity. Okay. So when you are doing your journaling, and mine is, it was right here. I thought it was right there. Okay. Well, if you are doing your journaling, what you want to do is your date, your time, and your level of anxiety. Now, your date and time are to show you when things happen. If you can know, okay, every Thursday about 9 p.m., I'm feeling kind of tense, then that means come and join me for the Healing Hour Live, okay? But it also means you've discovered a time when you're triggered. And so you can go back a couple of steps. Okay, what happened earlier in the days on Thursdays? Is that, oh, that's the day that he works late and I'm anxious about it, what he's doing, and if he's really at work and if it's really a serious thing or not, or if he's really not doing anything wrong and I'm just being paranoid. Then I get triggered and then I want to confront him and then I start a fight every Thursday night. So then you will know what is going on with you before it happens. So you can anticipate it. You can comfort yourself. You can say, wait. I know he is going to work. He is bringing in the appropriate amount of money for him working these late nights. I know that it is correct that he is going to work. I do not have to sit here and freak myself out about it and get all paranoid. That is where he is. I know that. I have evidence of it. It's okay. If you don't know that the trigger is coming, it's hard to collect evidence against it. Every little thing makes it seem like it's true if you don't have any time beforehand to collect some evidence against what the thought is, that negative thought in your head. So if you are consistently paying attention and you know every Thursday, that's a day that you're going to be tense. That's the day you're going to feel tight and paranoid and feel like you want to start a fight. Then you are going to know, okay, well, I know that happens. So I'm going to go and do a little self-care. I'm going to go out and treat myself to a little milkshake. And I'm going to sit in the car and play music until I get into a better mood. Any type of thing. It doesn't matter what it is. You can interrupt that thing that is happening, this trigger that is happening to you inside your brain after this infidelity. So I want you to be paying close attention by putting down your date and your time when you're doing your journaling. Then you're going to do your level of anxiety. Level of anxiety is so we can put a fence around these feelings. They can only get as big as you are. That's it. They can't get any bigger. They cannot step on you like Godzilla. They are not going to get any bigger than you are. And that is a 10. You are all filled up. Okay. A 0 is you're feeling no anxiety, no tension, no stress whatsoever. Things are great. All is right with the world. Put that in your journal. You want to know the days that you feel like that because the trauma in your brain will tell you that every day is awful. It's miserable. It's always raining. You have a dark cloud over you at all times. It will tell you that, and it will be a lie because it's just trying to keep you protected. We talked about that last week. But you don't have to believe it, and you will have evidence that it's not true because you'll have been writing it in your journal. 10, on the other hand, 10 is a complete loss of control. 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked because I am out of control of myself. I do not have the wherewithal to gather myself and calm myself down. I am freaking out. I am screaming. I am throwing things. I am arguing even when I know I'm not making any sense. That is all happening when you are a 10. You can't sit and use your journal if you are a 10. So don't sit down with your pen in your journal and say, oh, I'm a 10 right now. You are not. You are at least in enough control to be able to write. So you've only got to be at least like a 9. 10, you're throwing the book. You're throwing the journal. You're throwing the pen. You're stabbing the mattress with the pen. You've lost control of yourself. So you are not able to sit there and journal. So if you're able to sit and journal, it's not quite a 10. Might be an 8, maybe a strong 8.5, 9, could be that, but it's not a 10. If you're doing this on a consistent basis, you write it at the beginning, what your level of anxiety is, and then after you've written in your journal for about 5 minutes, you see where your level of anxiety is. Chances are it will have come down. Your body is saying, oh, she's listening. She knows that this is terrible. She knows that we're scared. She's listening. She's writing it down, and it's in the special book she likes writing in, the special book she comes back and refers to. This is where we talk about this trauma. So she's writing it down in there. So it must be okay. We can let it go. A lot of the time, if you get in the habit of doing your journaling, the negative thoughts will start to leave you alone. You'll take whatever negative thought surfaces first thing in the morning or right before you get ready to go to bed, take those thoughts that bubble up to the surface and write them down. And then your brain will say, oh, she heard us. It's fine. She's taking care of it. It'll be okay. All right. All right, let's see. What's the next thing? The next thing that I want you to remember to do is to develop an attitude of gratitude. I know it's hard to be grateful when something this traumatic has happened to you. I know that the fear and the pain tell you that there is nothing to be grateful for, that this is miserable, it's awful, it has been terrible for you. There is no fixing it, there is no healing it. I understand that is what your brain is saying, but that's not true. That is just part of the fear response of that fight or flight system in your body. It is trying to make you believe that everything is awful so that you will hide, that you will isolate yourself, like we talked about last week. So if you are hiding and isolating yourself, then that means that you can't be connected to anyone or anything because you are hiding under a rock. You can't be connected to other people under a rock. Not even this person you love so much you are willing to forgive them for cheating. You still won't be able to be in connection with them if you keep listening to what the fear and pain are talking about. When you counter that with gratitude, you are intentionally telling your brain, hey, I understand bad things have happened. I understand that there are things that I should grieve over right now, but there are also wonderful things. There are also wondrous, amazing things on this planet that I am so happy for. And everything is not bad all the time. And then you can prove to your brain that it's lying to you. It's, again, lying to you, telling you everything is awful, because you have all of these things that you have been training yourself to be grateful for, to remember that you are grateful. It interrupts the loop in your brain of those negative thoughts that just keep going and going and going. If you interrupt it with gratitude, a lot of the time that will fall apart. That loop will fall apart in your head. So, I want you to, first thing in the morning when you're doing your journaling and right before you go to bed, think of 5 things that you're grateful for. Put them down in your journal. Have a running list, because at the end of 30 days, you are going to have a ton of things that you are objectively grateful exist. Your brain can tell you that everything is bad all it wants to, but you have an entire list of beautiful, wonderful things that make your heart soar. And this negativity is not the only thing. It is a good world that you can be happy. There are things that make you happy, and you don't have to hide behind this pain forever. Okay. And I always want to do Thirsty Thursday and give you an opportunity. Put what you're grateful for in the comments. Let me know, and I will share. I will shout you out, and I will share with everybody the beautiful, wonderful things that you have to be grateful for. If you just stick them in the comments for me, I will share each and every week what you are most grateful for, the things that make your heart feel full, that open it up, that make you want to be a part of this life, the things that make you feel like, oh, everything's not so bad. I want to hear about those things. Okay. All right, let's see. Last thing before we get into the lesson for tonight, I want you to stop asking him all those questions about the infidelity. I know that that's a difficult thing. I know I'm asking a lot. I know I am asking a ton of you to not ask the question because it's another trauma response. This is the effects of trauma on your body. Your body says, I need to know all the information I can possibly know about this threat. The problem with that is not the information. It's the fact that you're considering him a threat in the first place. You are categorizing him by putting him in the place of something dangerous you need to know about. Our brains do it automatically. We can pick out the shape of a snake or of a spider in a cluster of other pictures because our brains want to know about a threat. Our brains are set to recognize things that could be a threat. So if you are asking a lot of questions, finding out lots of information about this cheating, about what he did, about how they talked to each other and how they had sex and how long they were, all of those details, you are saying this is a threat and I am taking it as a threat and I am trying to gather as much information as I possibly can about this threat because this threat can hurt me. Okay, that is what you are doing when you do that. Now, I understand it is a trauma response and it is hard not to do it. I get that, but you got to give yourself a little willpower and stop asking those questions. You have enough information. You do. You have plenty information about what happened. Just knowing that he cheated is plenty of information. You got to heal from there regardless. If you just keep finding out detail after detail after detail, you are giving yourself more things to heal from when all of it together is the problem. All of what happened, each little bitty piece is a part of the whole picture of I was cheated on, this person committed an infidelity against me, this person betrayed me. Whatever the details may be, you don't need to get all in depth with them because you already know the big major picture thing is this person cheated. All right, that's what we're healing from. All of the little details, you will start to take them as separate things to heal from instead of part of the whole. So you're going to make your healing more difficult for yourself and you're treating them like a threat when you do it. Now, I say all that. I still understand that that is a trauma response. It'll make your brain itch trying to ask him, not to ask him a question. I get that. So I will give you another choice instead. All right. Try these out. These are the cards from the good people at the Skin Deep. The and THEAND is how you spell it. You can get these off Amazon. Excellent cards. This is the Healing Edition deck, and this one is all about healing, reconnecting, getting closer. Something has happened. It doesn't have to be cheating, but something has happened that your relationship needs to heal some. These are good questions to ask each other back and forth to start to gain that connection again. Because your brain tells you you're just trying to connect with them, right? Well, yes, I need to just connect with him. I'll just ask him a little bit more about the affair so then we can connect. That's not what your brain is trying to do. Your brain will tell you that to make you ask the question, but it is just trying to threat assess. That's all it's doing. It is not trying to get any closer. It's not trying for any connection. So instead of listening to your brain, pick a couple of these cards, do about 2 or 3 of them. This is a good half-hour long conversation. You will feel closer and more connected, even though your brain doesn't necessarily want you to get that way. Okay? So I'll give you a couple of questions. What do you think is unique about our relationship? That is an excellent question. That is a much better question than the questions you want to ask. How did you have, what positions did you have her in, and when did you meet, and how long was this going on, and what did you say to her, or what did she say to you? Much better question than any of those. What do you think is unique about our relationship? All right. I think that it is unique about our relationship that we made it. We made it through the infidelity. We loved each other. We're friends. We like each other. And so, as strange as both of us are, we want to be together. We want to connect with each other, and we try not to give each other too much of a hard time about how weird we are. All right. All right. Oh, you know what? It even gives you a fill in your own question thing. So you can ask about the affair, but try not to. Okay. If you get one of those, try not to. This one says, "What do you think I really need to hear these days?" Good question. Look, he might tell you something good, might tell you something do your heart good. All right. Better than telling you something that will make your heart break, right? Isn't that much better? What do you think I really need to hear these days? And one more. What memory do you have of us that you will never forget, and why? Don't you want to hear the good memories? I flipped through my photos of the two of us. I was like, oh, that was a good memory. And we went out and we looked so cute together and we were so in love. We was feeling good. You want to talk about those things. If you want to heal, if you want to reconcile, you've got to put yourself back in the position to be thinking about the positive, the good things between you. You can't just think about the betrayal forever and ever. You got to think about good stuff too. So, what memory do you have of us that you will never forget, and why? That question wasn't even about a positive memory, but we're going to make it a positive memory. All right. All right. So, that's it for the beginning part here. I got a little bit to teach you today. And we're going to talk a little bit today about the difference between fear and intuition. I think that is a super important thing for you to know about, because your trauma will try and show up as your intuition. It will try and convince you that the fearful reaction is your intuitive reaction just to get you isolated. All right. Your body will try and trick you. Your mind will try and trick you into doing this. One of the questions I hear all the time is, how do I know if this is my intuition? How would I know the difference? All right. Most people think that gut feeling is your intuition. It's not. It's not. Your gut being involved, that twisting, that, oh, I feel a little sick, that is actually part of the trauma response in your body. That is, again, a physical thing that happens to you when you are anxious, when you are fearful. What happens is your digestion slows down. That's what that feeling is. Your digestion slows down, almost comes to a stop. You may feel like you have to go to the bathroom. You may feel like you're gonna have diarrhea. You're like, it's like the whole bottom drops out. But that is what that feeling is your digestion changing because you are having a fight or flight response. Your body wants to shed stuff when you're in fight or flight. It's like, get rid of that, got to make you lighter so you can run. All right. That's what it's doing. So that gut feeling that most people describe most of the time, that is fear, and it's not intuition. Okay. I want you to start recognizing what happens when your body, when you're feeling fearful, when you're feeling triggered. I want you to take this as an exercise for this week. I want you to pay attention to when you feel triggered and how does your body feel. Experience it. Take a few deep breaths and pay attention to your body head to toe. Are your feet sweating? Does your head feel like there's a band around it? Does your heart pounding out of your chest? Is your throat dry? Is your stomach upset? Check out what is happening when you are triggered. That will give you a very clear indication that it's just fear and it's not your intuition. If you get that feeling and you're like, oh, is this my intuition? But it happens every single time you are feeling anxious and you are feeling fearful, it's fear, it's not intuition. Okay. All right. So let me tell you a little bit about what the fear sounds like, okay? That panic, that when your brain has triggered off and there's some adrenaline pumping through your system and your body starts to feel those changes. Fear feels urgent. Okay. First, it's I have to get this message through to you. You have to understand things will go catastrophically wrong if you don't hear this message. And that's another thing. It's very much all about the catastrophe. Everything is going to be terrible. You got to listen right now, or the entire world is going to fall apart. Okay. The fear is certain. It is certain that the world is going to fall apart. It is certain that right this minute, if you don't hear this message, you are in super danger. This is a life or death thing. Your brain is certain that that is what the situation is. Think about the certainty you feel when you are feeling triggered. Do you feel that certainty any other time in your life? Do you feel so sure about things on a regular basis? I know I didn't. It was frightening to have that fear be so certain that things were going to end in catastrophe. It was terrifying to me because I had never been that certain about anything in my life. Okay. Think about it for a minute. Most people have not. Most people do not feel that level of certainty on a day-to-day basis. We're all just winging it out here. We're doing the best we can with the knowledge that we have, but we're not certain about damn near anything. So that certainty should let you know, oh, this is a trauma response. This is fear. Okay. Your fear wants you to go into action right damn now. It does not want you to wait. Do something. Talk to him. React to him. Start yelling. Make a scene. Do something right now because the feeling feels so bad, you want to change it somehow. So it demands immediate action. And then the fear speaks in absolutes. It is sure of everything. He is lying. I know for sure he is lying. He never does this, that, and a third. So that must mean that he's lying. It is very sure about everything. Okay. And it's loud too. Your fear is loud. Most of the time, you can't hear your intuition over your fear. Your fear is loud. But just because a thought is loud does not mean it's true. There are a lot of loud thoughts that go off in your head that are not true at all. So you got to start recognizing when your body is trying to be super sure and super loud, that chances are it's just feeling fear. So things like, he is definitely lying. He is lying. I know he's lying. That's usually fear. If I don't ask him something right now, if I don't ask him about this part of the affair right now, something bad is going to happen. I'm not going to be in control. I'm going to be hurt again. I am going to need to crawl under a rock if I don't ask them this question right now. It wants action right now. It's very urgent. It's very loud. And it's super uncomfortable inside your body. Like I said, those are all physical things that are happening because your body is getting ready to fight or run real fast. So you are actually having physical things happen to you that are super uncomfortable. Your muscles will start to shake. Your palms will start to sweat. Your jaw will clench. Your vision will actually narrow down to just what's in front of you because the blood flow to the rest of your eyeball has decreased. It is focusing in on just what's right in front of you because that is where the danger is. All the stuff on the periphery, we're not worried about. We're right here. All right. All those things physically are happening to your body because your body is getting ready for a confrontation. If you keep letting it get you ready for a confrontation, you're going to have confrontations with him. Then you are trying to heal, and then you have a confrontation. And then you're better and you're kinder and you're trying to heal, and then you have another confrontation. So you start to look like you don't know what you want. Like you're all over the place. Sometimes you're nice, sometimes you're confrontational. Okay. Now, the wisdom, the intuition. What does that sound like? Right? It's the exact opposite of the fear. Your intuition usually is not going to make your body feel like that. It's not going to make your heart pound out of your chest. It's not going to make your breath come short. It's not going to have your palms sweating. Your intuition is calm and it is curious about things. It's not certain about things. It's like, I should keep an eye on that. Not, I'm sure that this is bad and I'm in danger. No, it doesn't do that. It just says, I should probably check that out. All right. I'm curious about what is going on here. Your intuition is patient. It's patient with you because it's waiting for you to hear it. Okay. And it will be patient with other people once you get it back in contact with it. Your intuition doesn't panic. That's what that is. It's a panic response. When your body is doing all that stuff after a trauma, that fight or flight response is a panic response. So your body is not panicking when you are experiencing what your intuition is trying to say to you. It doesn't need immediate certainty. It doesn't need immediate action. It wants to be curious. It wants to wait a little while. It wants to see what happens next. It wants to track some patterns. It wants to discover instead of just act. Okay. Your intuition says something feels a little off here. I'm going to start paying a little bit more attention to this particular thing. It says, I don't have enough information yet. I feel that something is not quite right. Something is a little off, but I'm not super uncomfortable. I don't have enough information to make a judgment yet. So I'm just going to hold off. I'm just going to hang on for a second. And your fear is quieter. You should always come back to that. Your fear, your intuition will whisper to you. Your fear screams. The intuition will whisper to you, just quietly, calmly, and it's a very certain voice. Even if it is curious about something, it's still a very calm, very certain voice inside you, instead of that screaming, anxious voice that the fear comes in. You know what I'm saying? I know you know what the fear sounds like in your head, right? It sounds very strident. It feels like somebody in distress. And your intuition doesn't feel like it's in distress. It feels like it knows, and it's just trying to give you a little tip so you will know too. Okay? Fear wants you to react. Your wisdom, your intuition, it invites you to respond, not just react, not just, this is a thing and let me jump on a reaction to it. Your wisdom lets you think and plan and consider slowly in a measured way, so then you get to respond appropriately. You don't have to just have a reaction. You can have the appropriate response. Okay. So in order to get to the appropriate response, what do you need to do? First thing, always breathe. Okay, you're holding your breath right now. If you are super anxious and you got that fear screaming in your head, you're holding your breath. You are increasing the level of carbon dioxide inside your lungs. You are starting to freak out. Okay, you are not breathing properly if you are anxious. So just take a moment and reset that. Blow out. Make the sound of exhaling, because that is a trigger in your brain. If you make that sound of you make that sound, that is the sound of, oh, I'm calming down now. So your brain picks up on that trigger. And so every time you make that sound, your brain is preparing to calm down too. Okay. Do your breathing, blow out, fully inhale, expand your lungs, shoulders back and down. Body language is key when you're doing your deep breathing. If you can open up, you're going to get a full deep breath in there. Okay. Shoulders back, shoulders down. Not up here by your ears. That's anxiety. All right. Push them down, push them back. That is how you're going to fill your lungs completely, and then exhale completely. Then you're going to regulate yourself. Part of it is your body language. Uncover yourself. Okay. If you're like this, uncover. When we do that, it's a animal response. Is my soft underbelly is showing, let me cover it. I'm afraid that something is going to eat me. Let me cover up my soft parts. Okay. If you open up, you are teaching your body, no, no, there is nothing here that is going to eat me. I am completely safe. So you are teaching your body to be regulated in the moment. Grounding exercises. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can smell, 2 things you can touch, and 1 thing you can taste, I think it is. It grounds you in your body. When we are having that panic reaction, we kind of come up out of our bodies. Have you ever had that dissociated feeling? Like I would feel like I'm standing behind my body looking at me over my shoulder, but some people feel like they're in front, some people feel like they're off to the side, but you're not in here. When you do those things, when you feel the seat beneath your butt, and you hear the air conditioner turning over, and you um smell the smell of my cosmetics, and you taste, I haven't had any, I just had water, so I don't know, taste, you know what water tastes like. When you do that, you are bringing yourself back inside your body and trying to connect yourself again, instead of floating off and getting prepared again to fight or to run. um Another good one, and this sounds a little woo woo, but it works and I do it. So I'm gonna tell you about it. Ground yourself with a tree. It helps to regulate your body. Go outside, wrap your arms around the nearest tree and hug it. Squeeze it as tight as you possibly can. Strangely enough, it will release a lot of that tension in your body, and it's like the tree absorbs it. If you feel funny doing that, or you don't have a tree that you can wrap your arms around, go sit at the base of a tree. Sit with your entire back up against the tree and imagine, put yourself in the frame of mind that what is wrong inside, what you're feeling, the negative feelings, the terrible thoughts, that they are draining down and they are going into the ground, into the roots of the tree. Strange enough, it works. Okay. It is a grounding exercise that helps you feel very, very regulated, very at peace when you do it. Okay. I'm only going to tell you things that work. Might sound strange to you, but it does work. But just doing something to regulate yourself, get yourself back into your own body and saying that you're in control. Then ask yourself a few questions. Now that you've done a little deep breathing, you grounded yourself a little bit, your head is probably a little clearer. Ask some questions now. What evidence do I have that this is true? My fear is screaming this, okay? But there's a lot of screaming and there's not a lot of evidence. Is there any evidence? Let me see. Is there anything that would make me believe that what is going on in my head right now is true? If there is no evidence, you can't even bring it to court. Don't even worry about it. It's probably not true. It's probably just fear. Ask yourself what story you're telling yourself. Am I telling myself the story that our relationship is busted after this infidelity and we'll never get back together and we'll never be able to work things out and I'll never be able to trust them again? Is that the story you're telling? Yeah, you're going to feel fearful then. Yeah, that's not intuition. That is fear. That is, I am terrified of that, because chances are that's not what you want. If you're here with me, you're working with me, you want to connect again. You want it to be okay. So if you're constantly telling your story of it didn't work out, that's fear. That's not what you actually want. That is what your body is trying to tell you to protect you. And then, yeah, am I trying to protect myself, or am I trying to understand what's actually happening? Give yourself some questions about what's happening. Try and question it and be curious about it. Not trying to back away, not trying to put space, but actually lean in, ask some questions, see what's going on inside your head, inside the situation, instead of trying to back away and isolate yourself in the moment. Okay. Those are the things, those basic things that you can do each and every time you get triggered, you start feeling fearful, you breathe, you regulate yourself, and you ask yourself some hard questions. Okay. I had to do All of those. I am telling you things that I know for sure work because I had to do them. So I am letting you know, I'm letting you in on all the secrets. I am speaking to you now from your future that all of this stuff will work, but you have to do it. You have to recognize that this is a trauma response and your body is doing things that it's supposed to do. It's automatic, but you are the pilot. You are not a passenger here. Your body is doing these things on autopilot because if this was a life or death situation, you don't need all that thinking time. You need your body to snap to and do what needs to be done to protect you. But your honey is not a life or death situation. The person that you love and you want to open yourself up to, you don't want to treat them like a threat to you in every step of your day, or you will never be able to open back up to them, never be able to connect again. We've got to go ahead and remember that it's very, very uncomfortable when the fear is speaking. It was super uncomfortable in my body, made me panic all the time, made my chest hurt, made my stomach upset, made my head, like I had a headache back here on a regular basis. It was uncomfortable. It didn't make me feel good to be fearful all the time. But once I started to quiet that voice, started to regulate, started to breathe, started to bring in everything that I needed to do to get myself back under control, it stopped being so uncomfortable and it stopped being so loud. And then I was able to hear my intuition. Then I was able to get to it. I wasn't able to access it with all of those sensory inputs, your body going haywire and your brain going haywire at the same time. You can't hear your intuition. You can't hear a damn thing but the fear. So if you're able to stop, breathe, regulate, ask some good questions, bring yourself around, ground yourself in reality, you're going to be able to access your inner wisdom much, much easier. Fear shouts. It's loud and insistent and urgent and scary. Wisdom is going to whisper to you. It's not going to scream for your attention. It is going to say, I'm going to say it one time. If you're listening, fine. But if you're not listening, you're going to miss it. That is what happens with your intuition. It is not screaming at you over and over. It is coming to you in quiet moments when you are still and when you are at peace, and you need to be ready for those moments to be able to catch your intuition and what it's really saying. Okay? Your goal is not to stop feeling fear altogether. That's insane. We can't do that. And that's not even something that is possible to do. We've got to learn to stop letting fear become the loudest voice in our entire lives. Fear doesn't want us to have a happy, connected, fun, loving, sexy life with somebody. It doesn't want that. It wants us to isolate. It wants us to be away from what it perceives as threats. It will try its best to keep us sheltered, even though what we long for is the connection with our person. So if you are having difficulty hearing your intuition over the fear, I have an opportunity for you to talk with me on an After Infidelity clarity call. You will get real clear about what is fear going on in your brain, just that fear speech from inside you and from other people. And you will get much clearer on what your intuition is telling you, because your intuition is tied in with that love that you feel. Usually your intuition will try to lean you in the direction of connection. So we've got to start downplaying some of the fearful stuff and listening more to that intuition that is trying so hard to let you love and be loved. So if you get on a call with me, it is 45 minutes. You're going to tell me about what's going on, and I'm going to give you clarity about what is happening and what you can do to start to feel better right now, today. After that conversation, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel like you know where the path is. You can start to walk it on your own. And then once you start walking the path, that's the great part. When you start to heal and you walk that healing path, you start to heal the entire relationship, because when you change everything around you, even him. Even if he is not cooperative, when you start to do the work of the healing, it spreads. That's why that thing, if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. Because when we're unhappy, it spreads to other people. But when we're happy and we're at peace, as women, we change everything. Everybody can be joyful when we are feeling joyful. So you got to remember that on your day-to-day life, that you are going for spreading the happiness, spreading the joy, spreading peace, and not spreading misery and bitterness and fear. Okay? All right, so you can join me in the comments. Let me know how you feel about that. What is your fear screaming at you right now? What has it been saying inside your brain that is freaking you out? And what was the last thing that your intuition said to you that you heard very clearly and you were like, oh yeah, that's my intuition. It spoke very clearly. It spoke calmly to me. I am sure about its message. What was the last thing that your intuition told you that you were sure was your intuition? Okay. All right. That's it for the lesson for today. I've got one more thing to teach you about real quick before we go. Those 4 things that I taught you at the beginning: do your deep breathing, do your journaling, do your gratitude practice, and stop asking him all those questions. All of those were things that you can do right now in yourself without any help to start to mitigate the effects of trauma on your body and your brain. I got one more for you. The last one we're going to talk about today is doing your affirmations. Woo, the affirmations will save you if you let them, okay? Your body and your brain are so tense and so and want you to be so isolated. They will tell you you're the problem here. You are awful. You aren't good enough. You're too fat. You're too stupid. You're too this. You're too that to have love. And that's why you got cheated on. That's why you're hurting like this. Tell you awful things about yourself because it wants you to be fearful and it wants you to be isolated. So instead of listening to that, we've got to start doing our affirmations. Each and every morning, first thing when you wake up, go in the bathroom, look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself an affirmation like you mean it. Say it like it's the most true thing that you have ever said in your entire life. Say it like this is your best friend you're talking to and you need her to believe you because you love her so much and you want her to believe good things about herself. Say it like that. Put that idea in your brain and then say your affirmation to yourself in the mirror. And then all day long, when your brain starts to pick on you, when it starts to say that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not pretty enough, you come back to your affirmation and you acknowledge that, no, I am good enough. I am smart enough. And doggone it, people like me. Okay? That is what I want you to do consistently. All these things are about consistency. If you do them consistently, you are interrupting the trauma response inside you. Then you can start to get to that good healing instead of fighting with yourself all the time. Okay? So I've got affirmations. Now, if you want affirmations specifically for how to heal and reconcile after infidelity, go ahead and put affirmation in the comments, and I'll send you a link to my 60 days of affirmations specifically for that healing and reconciling, okay? But these I just got from Five Below. So I like this one. Today I am receptive. Today I will let go of the past. I will live in the present and I am looking forward to a bright future. Oh, I like that. That's a good affirmation. Today I am receptive. I will receive things. I will receive compliments. I will receive money. I will receive all the good things in life today. Whatever good wants to come my way, I deserve each and every bit of it, and I am receptive to it. Put that idea in your head first thing in the morning. You're going to feel better throughout the day. Okay? Today I am receptive. Today I will let go of the past. I will live in the present, and I am looking forward to a bright future. All right. All righty, y'all. That is about it. Now, remember what I told you. Do your deep breathing, do your journaling, do your gratitude practice. Stop asking him all those questions and do your affirmations. But more than anything, I want you to make sure that you don't do what the fear and the pain tell you to do. Do what is the opposite of the fear and the pain. Everything that it's screaming in your brain, take yourself off of that path, turn around, and do the exact opposite of what it's saying, and you will be on the healing path each and every time you do it. All right? Trust me, I know about these things. All righty, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. I'll be back with you again next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. Until then, I love you and I'm so, so proud of you. And I will see you again then. Bye.